I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic book show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, as Dark Knight's metal rages on, we're taking a closer look at Batman the Merciless #1. Yet another member of the Dark Knights is about to have their origins revealed. What'll happen next? Let's hop on in together and find out. So, as we join the comic, we see a very important emergency meeting being held by the heads of some of the most important organizations in DC lore. You got Steve Trevor from Argus, you got Father Time from the Agents of S.H.A.D.E, you got Amanda Waller from Task Force X, and even, oh look, Mr. Bones from the D.E.O. These bigwigs, joined by General Sam Lane, know that they're dealing with a crisis-level event right now, and seeing as the Justice League has dropped off the face of the Earth, they may need to pursue other options. Mainly a big giant missile called the Valhalla, capable of taking out just about anything. Of course, these guys don't really get a chance to decide a course of action though, because their meeting is interrupted by the Merciless, an evil armor-clad Dark Knight. But how did we get here, you might be asking yourself, as we discover on an alternate Earth, Ares, Wonder Woman arch-nemesis and God of War, had forged himself a brand new helmet. One that allowed him to amplify his own strength and broadcast a bloodlust into the hearts and minds of everyone around him, plunging that world into a war unlike any other. In the end, only Bruce and Diana were left of the Justice League, having fought their way all to the front lines and even knocking the helmet off Ares' head. It's Batman who has the idea to put the helmet on himself, hoping that maybe he could take these war powers and use them for good. Now, as you might have guessed, this turned out to be an absolutely terrible idea, as Batman was corrupted beyond all recognition. He says that the helmet opened his mind and showed him that the whole way he's been fighting crime up until now has been pointless, for there is no great battle between good or evil, only the never-ending war for survival. This kind of ideology made the Merciless, he never actually calls himself that by the way, the perfect pickings for the Batman Who Laughs Dark Knights team. Batman Who Laughs says that this particular world died because it was too weak, but that if all the Dark Knights join together, they can find new, better, stronger worlds to conquer and plunder. A pitch that the Merciless finds way too appropriate to pass up. By the time everything is said and done, the Merciless has all the different heads of all the different super organizations bowing at his feet. Fitting, as they're all pretty warlike in their own way, but what's interesting though is that the Merciless has a real hate-on for Steve Trevor. You see, back on his Earth, he actually quite loved Wonder Woman. But they could never be together because even in death, Wonder Woman only had eyes for Steve. This made Batman just a little bit crazy, and when Wonder Woman reached for Ares' helmet back at that big important moment, Batman slapped them away and took the power for himself. Oh. Well, now that just changes everything, doesn't it, as the comic winds down, am I right? So that was Batman the Merciless issue #1, everybody, and I'm happy to say this series of one-shots rebounded pretty hard after the somewhat lackluster The Drowned. Batman being seduced by the powers of the God of War honestly just makes a ridiculous amount of sense when you really stop and think about it. I mean, what does Batman always describe his vigilante quest as? A war on crime and criminality. The Merciless is just the darkest but most likely extreme that quest could be taken to. Honestly, all of that on its own would have been compelling enough, but Tomasi's a writer who doesn't rest on his laurels. He infuses the story with an extra dimension by showing Batman as a jilted, jealous lover. Heck, I even really dug the prologue with all the different heads of all the major DC organizations. I love this idea that they really have to try and scramble to get their shit together now that there seems to be no superheroes to save them. Overall, I'd give this one an 8.5 out of 10. It's one of the more solid ones they've done. So that's Batman the Merciless, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, why not check out some of these other videos I have available from the channel. Then, as always, you can head on down to the description and follow me on social media at Cape Joel, so you're always up to date when there's a new video coming down the pipeline. And if you're feeling in a generous mood, why not become a patron? Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. So until next time, everyone, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again later. Bye-bye.